Hello gamers and welcome back to Daggerfall. I'm on my Nightblade character, and I gotta say, this character's kind of cool. I like it. I have the skills and everything described on my spreadsheet over here. But this is a great example of a well-designed character, okay? Because we've got really cool skills. I mean, you'll pretty much be using all these skills all the time as a Nightblade. Let's actually go on the road and see if I can find more people to deal with. And then I came up with another sort of thing where it'd be essentially a trickster character, because the Nightblade is focused on being very deadly. But I'm thinking like this, except you're like a non-lethal thief character. The Nightblade is essentially an assassin that uses magic, because yeah, I think that's the deal with the assassin, is that they don't use magic. So if I'm gonna make an assassin, it'll basically be the Nightblade, but like, well, they'll have probably short blade, long blade, and archery. I don't know. So yeah, you're gonna be using your short blade, probably your ebony dagger. These are just like innocent knights, though. Should try and find like bandits on the road. For some reason, these are counted as enemies, but I think they're just like dudes. They're just dudes on the road. I don't know if you find silhouette. Uh-oh. Oh, we got something here. Okay. There's a Khajiit. I don't know what this is, by the way. It says halt. Set pixels 32, invalid number of pixels. I don't know what that means, man. Whatever. We got a horsey. Also, I did notice that there's butterflies. I don't know what mod adds that, but I did notice there's flittering butterflies. That must be from like World of Daggerfall or something. We'll try and find Cathing. I'm heading to Daggerfall, I think. Because yeah, I teleported like over here or something to talk to Lady Brisciana. I think yeah, when I'm testing out a character to make sure that it plays well, I want to like at least get to Daggerfall Castle and get to like about level 5-ish. You know? Get to Daggerfall Castle. Although yeah, I suppose at this point... Ooh. What is this? Yeah, beautiful villages. I mean, that's an incredible mod. Get to, I don't know. I've gotten to a point where it's like, I do kind of want to minimize the amount of time I spend in dungeons. That's kind of a bad idea, right? Because it's Daggerfall. But, it's like... This, okay, when it says that, this guy, this is from Wilderness, Warmash's Wilderness, this guy can give a quest. That's kind of fun when you don't have anything to do, but I think when I'm traveling around, it's like, eh. Leave that for... Something ahead feels different. Sometimes there's loot there. I want to see if I can find a butterfly. Oh, there's just a pile of shit. Awesome. Yeah. It's not really that great of an idea that, oh, I should minimize my time in dungeons. But I think I've just played the game enough to where it's like, yeah, dungeons can be a little bit much. Or like, it's like a massive fucking time sink being in Shrine of Bandai. What? Hello. Oh, whoa. That's cool. Alright. It's just like a massive, thing. Being in a dungeon. It's like, I mean, I would say just running around on the map is enough of an adventure, you know? sometimes. All right, yeah, here's the spells that I have. These are the spells that I would probably make on every character. Oh, these are kind of unique to the Nightblade. You definitely want Respite, way of healing your fatigue. It doesn't need to be super powerful, because you can't really do much early on. But you don't need the Destruction either. I think that's actually the name of a cantrip in D&D, Shocking Grasp. Right? Minor Levitate, I would recommend doing that on every character. Nice and cheap, and it's just so you can float for like a few seconds. Also, yeah, this is the minimum duration for Levitate. And you still end up levitating pretty... Wait a minute, whoops. Meant to do this. Minor Levitate. So yeah, it's daylight, so my magicka is reduced. I have that on the Nightblade. Yeah. I thought that would be a cool idea for the... Okay, you should probably be careful. I had that on the Nightblade to be like, hey, that makes sense. Reduced magicka in daylight, because they're a Nightblade. They should be using magic during the night. They get their powers from the night. I think this is the right way, right? Enemies are seeking to prevent... Oh, yeah, okay. We're trying to find people. I'm gonna... Oh, yeah, I should go see those rats. Hello. So yeah, I have the magic regen mod just so that if it's a magic using character, they can travel on the map and regenerate their magicka with travel options. Because otherwise it just becomes too tedious to move around with Warm Ashes and travel options, you know? And World of Dagger. I feel like the more I play it, I really like Warm Ashes, but I have the encounter frequency set to minimum. And it's still, like, so many fucking encounters. It's, like, constantly. So, like, yeah, if you want a lot of stuff to do and a lot of things to kill, get Warm Ashes. But I feel like with the amount of stuff that World of Daggerfall adds, you don't really need that much, you know? Dodging is ready. Okay, so I don't even have infighting enabled. Maybe it's because it's in their programming? Okay, don't use your ebony dagger on a rat. This is a, I gotta think. Is this character immune to disease or not? Because, yeah, small tooth, I believe, is used in the cured... Or, is it cure poison? I think it's cure poison potion. Yeah, I can run around and restore my mana. You're exhausted? Oh, fuck. Respite. Whoa! Yeah, there's weird glitches sometimes with travel option. You're exhausted. See, that way, my magicka goes over time and I can restore my resources while I'm traveling. A no magic character will have to actually camp, which would be a lot more tedious. Honestly, yeah, you could probably get rid of Warm Ashes on a no magic character. I suppose you could really rely on potions and shit, but I don't know. I feel like the game... It would be an interesting challenge to play a no magic character. But, oof, you know, that would be super hard to me. And kind of annoying, you know? Okay, now I'm exhausted. Shit. Okay, so yeah, the idea behind this character, you're constantly casting hide in combat with human enemies. It might be one of the best characters to fight humans with, because they cannot see through your invisibility. And they're basically useless against your illusion spells, which are very cheap. So I think I did notice something, is that once you break your normal invisibility, once you break that, the effect is still on, so you have to, like, wait, you know? But no, I have true invisibility and true shadow. I don't really know if there's a huge difference between these. I think it's just like a chance. Like, invisibility is you're fully invisible and it's harder for enemies to see you, whereas shadow, they can still kind of see you. It's just a cheaper way of doing it. At this point, yeah, I'll probably have to camp. Cook. Cool. suppose that is a downside, is you always have to travel during the night, and that is kind of a annoying, especially outside of the winter time. It's like insanely dark. Oh, nice. Level up. Okay. I'll put him into, probably strength. Beep, boop, beep. Strength to increase damage, or intelligence to increase mana. They have, increased magery. So I would get 10 mana points for that. I think +1 damage is better. Yeah. Pack. I think every 1 point of or every 10 points of endurance adds to your health points per level. So like I'm level 4. Having endurance 50, I would just have 65 health, whereas now I have 69 health. Epic. I now have my shit out. You arrived at a junction. Yeah, on a lower end computer, you probably want to have a smaller speed. I think the regular speed is 15, but it's still pretty like laggy. Otherwise, a stranger emerges. Okay, they have a tower built on a river. There we go. Here's a place. So I'm gonna vanish. This is why it's called a Nightblade, folks. Try and get a backstab. Critical strike backstab. I should be... I don't know. I think Indulcet is a drug. Longsword. Very good. I guess, yeah, a more balanced way of doing this, where you're not just in invisibility constantly, would probably be having a normal invisibility that has the same duration. So there's a little bit of a cooldown. I think that would be a bit more interesting and more balanced to play, because otherwise you're just spamming this invisibility. They can almost kind of see you. It's weird. Maybe they rely on hearing, I don't know. Beep, boop, boop, boop. Nice, we got some potions. Ooh, excellent. Yeah, I think this is no chain or plate. Yeah. I do kind of wish these, like, brought your advantage dagger down a little bit more, but... what are you gonna do? Yeah, I suppose the thief version of this, where they're more... there isn't really non-lethal in Daggerfall, but they're not as focused on killing, they're more so just focused on thievery. Swap out short blade with hand-to-hand, and then swap out long blade with backstabbing. And probably swap out etiquette and streetwise with lockpicking and pickpocket, and then you'd have your thief build, or your arcane sort of trickster build. Poison. Poison guard. Okay. Oh. We're headed west. Right. Barely visible. Oh, parrot. It's a red guard. By the Archdruid. Okay. This is from World of Daggerfall. Would you like to be healed of all that ails you? Hey! Well, that's kind of cool. Sure. I guess. No. I need gold. So wait, does that, cure your disease and stuff? That's pretty cool. I would say, yeah, it's probably... I don't know, unless that's from Hormash's Wilderness, I don't know. How many of these freaking towers are there? Yeah, this Nightblade character is very much playable and fun. Probably recommend this to new players as well. And yeah, her name is Neria, which I originally thought of as, oh, that's kind of an elven sounding name, but it totally makes sense for a Nightblade. Yeah, I like doing alliteration because I'm kind of highfalutin. God, it's fucking laggy. Must be a city nearby. I do wish you could kind of get rid of the pop-up notifications of the encounters. Whoa. Hello. Yeah, the only problem with the Nightblade is that, yeah, we'll probably have trouble killing monsters. Killing monsters and... well, not monsters, but Daedra and Undead. Because, well, yeah, against humans, I mean, you're just a god, you know? Longblade's ready. But yeah, against Daedra and Undead, they can see through invisibility. Which, that's another, like, point against illusion, I think. I think they definitely added new, areas with World of Daggerfall in the new update. So I don't remember this fallen tower. Yeah. That's another thing with climates and calories, is it adds so much more meaning to the things that you can find with World of Daggerfall, because almost all of these locations have either a bed or a campfire. Which signals safety, just like in Dark Souls. Well, not really, because, yeah, you have to kill the bandits. Whoa. I don't know what causes that, but we're at a city here. Entering Ipshed. Big old city. Oh. Hello. Sharp blade is stealth. I don't know if you can actually get stealth checks while you're invisible. Probably, but I haven't really seen that. Yeah, I'd recommend this. Well, I guess, yeah, I haven't gone into a dungeon yet with, like, Daedra. And this is meant to be a glass cannon build, so... I don't know, man. I guess, yeah, that would be the big flaw, is Undead and Daedra. You'd have to probably train lots of mysticism. That's, yeah. Train mysticism, and then dispel Daedra and Undead. I don't think that... Does that actually work on, like, quest targets? I think it does. Where am I going? I'm going to Daggerfall. The carriage drivers are not out. I do have the immersive travel mod, which, if anything, that, you know, adds some people to cities. But it is useful if you have the setting on travel options to disable vanilla fast travel. I still have vanilla fast travel on just in case I'm like freaking annoyed by traveling, because sometimes it can be a lot, you know, especially if you're going like halfway across a region. Like, how close am I to Daggerfall? Like, I'm not even fucking halfway there, bro. Oh, is that a body of water? No. Is it a mirage? No, I think it's a mirage. Yeah. Kind of. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, travel options isn't perfect. There's no path to follow. Yeah. That was just because the letter for Brisciana came to, like, over here, which is a little bit unlucky. At least it's kind of close to Daggerfall. I do like using travel options as a challenge, but yeah, if you want to, you can just, like, go to the Mages Guild and teleport. Should probably be a solid idea. We're taking that coin pouch off of you. Help for the guards if you want, but they will be able to help. What? What the fuck? Wait a minute. Yeah, spear is long blade. So does stealth raise against this guy? Yeah, I just figured out that you could refill your oil with refill your lantern with oil. That's cool. I haven't put anything in the wagon yet? What? No way. Okay. Oh yeah, I think I took out a loan at like level 2 or something, so I don't have that much money. No, it doesn't. I think they actually have to be hostile. Yeah, stealth is like time spent undetected by nearby hostile enemies. And they can be like around the corner as well. Yeah. Oh, they just closed as well. Damn it. That's annoying. That is one of the Mages Guild benefits, is having access to their services 24/7. Trying to go this way. Oh, we reached nighttime. That's what's cool about traveling at nighttime, though, is that you can absolutely see things in the distance like that. You can see camps. Very realistic. Is a disturbance? What the fuck is this? Oh, we got plague victims? Shit. I suppose, is this must be added by World of Daggerfall, or... Yeah, because that's what's cool about the mod Power Struggle. Is that it adds this, the plague spreading throughout places. And that's kind of constantly shifting throughout the game. In the background, and that was in vanilla. We gotta... I think that climates and calories makes it so that if you pass out while it's like too cold out, you die. Which makes sense. Oh, we actually passed fighter. Take a look at my wares. Isn't it like Oblivion? What game is that from? Take a look at my wares. Where does he when he says it like that? The real Baron Zaya. See what you're up to. Okay, follow me. Oh, nice. How are you? Knights are probably one of the better ones to recruit in terms of health. Yeah, so I was gonna look at the classes redone mod, because I want to try and actually maybe make this mod to revise the classes. Now, yeah, my versions of the classes are meant for... Oh, I think I already downloaded it. Whoops. Definitely meant more for the player. So that is a bit of a problem. Ooh, class expansion. So yeah, this actually replaces... How do you open CFG files? It actually replaces game files from the original Daggerfall. So that's why I was like, I don't know. I was a little iffy on that. But there are backups. Yeah, it looks like they increased the hit points per level for all the classes. Because, yeah, I think they are a bit too low. I get that that's balanced for the NPCs as well, but the hit points per level for most classes are way too low to really... I mean, like, I don't know. In my opinion, they're too low. But I think I'm playing on 10 per level on this character. Which definitely puts me in line with the NPC, with the other NPCs. I think, yeah, 10 should be like the minimum for all classes. Yeah, we should use the training spells. So yeah, the training spells, these have minimum cost effects. Water breathing is alteration, water walking is thaumaturgy, and heal fatigue is restoration. Train 2 has open, and they're all like made to cost as little as possible. Open is mysticism, mage light is illusion. Damage, at least I think it is anyway. Yeah, it is. Damage fatigue is destruction. Just get that ready. I definitely want to level up mysticism, because yeah, I think that would be like the main solution against undead. Although yeah, to be fair, to be able to banish Daedra and undead with like a guaranteed chance is that's like very high level shit. So, or like you need super high mysticism to do that. So you won't really be able to have access to that early. Like there are some effects like that that are just like meant for more higher level, you know. Cross market. I don't have infighting enabled. Yeah, I'd probably recommend disabling infighting as well for the first dungeon, and then enabling it as soon as you get out. Or just enabling it in wandering foes after dealing with the skeleton, because for some reason having wandering foes on, it makes it so that the skeleton like falls off the thing, or falls off the ledge at the beginning. Beep, boop, boop, boop. I have a very basic setup with free reign, because yeah, free reign adds pretty complicated, well, not complicated, but it adds like new sprinting, where you have to like pace out your galloping. And to me, that's just too complicated and unnecessary. I'm okay with the horse having unlimited stamina, because I can suspend my disbelief a little bit, right? You're feeding your horse as you move along in your adventure, just like not literally. Is that something you do in Red Dead 2? Because that's, I think there is like survival mechanics, right? Do you have to feed your horse? Looks like a path. Should be on the lookout for mages guilds, but it's too late. Yeah, see my mana pool. It looks like that's reduced by like 1/3 or something. Not actually 1/2 like I thought it was. Oh, my lantern is out. Yeah, it's better to carry around tons of oil Although oil is kind of expensive. Unless that's describing the whole value. I think that's all of the oil combined. Yeah, you should carry around stacks of oil instead of more lanterns. And yeah, lanterns... Ooh, they got a massive upgrade with the update to... I don't even know why you're here, bro. Because you can't even help me. Alright, we'll part ways. Unless I can get some gold from you. All my skills are ready, so I should probably rest. So yeah, camping equipment has quite a few uses. It has like 5 or so, at least. It's just the beginning one that you start with only has 1 use. So yeah, I'd pack this up every time. Because yeah, if you forget one, I mean, there goes 1 camping supplies. Should probably eat. Very good. Whoa. We got some animals. They just show up or what? God, this looks so good, man. All right, now it's daytime. So yeah, I think the thing is actually reduced by 1/3 when you have reduced mana. I think I mentioned that in the last one, where it's a cheesy meme that you can do, where you get increased magery ×3 and then lower magic ability in darkness and daylight. And that should give you, like, more mana than normal, but also a negative on the difficulty dagger. So it's a bit of an exploit. Bit of a cheese, but it's something that you can fairly do in the character creator to get free disadvantage points, or free advantage points, and more mana than normal. Now, yeah, most, like, efficient or, like, good characters... What the hell? Oh my god. Must be pilgrims. Dang, that guy looks cool. It's like a eunuch or something. That's probably actually what it is. So you see like pilgrimage sites, that's really cool. Anyway. What was it saying? Forgot. So at this point, oops, could probably start going. No, I'll go west. Yeah, like going halfway across the map is something that takes actually like an hour with travel options. So that is a bit of a problem. In a way. Yeah, I think that train's illusion. Yeah, I think this is completely fair to have, in my opinion, for a magic using character with high willpower. Because, yeah, it does require that heavy investment in willpower. And that, you know, takes away from your other attributes. So I think it's a good trade-off for being able to... Because that is... Ooh, we got a bird. That's got to be from World of Daggerfall or something. That's so cool, man. Is there butterflies? Oh, was that a crow picking at the orc's corpse? Yeah, man, the World of Daggerfall, that is an amazing mod. I think I have it based around dice rolls to trade and follow with language skills overall. Midbeth. I don't know why the guards randomly start fighting. That's a disturbance. Disturbance, disturbance. There's always a disturbance. Okay. Get rid of that. I suppose the Nightblade would be using poisons. Potion of arsenic that's supposed to apply poisons to your weapon. I don't know how that works. I haven't really used that. Because, yeah, to be honest, poisons have always been clunky in the Elder Scrolls. There weren't poisons in any of the games until Oblivion, I think. They were, of course, very powerful if you actually use them, but... And they're kind of necessary on max difficulty. But honestly, never really bothered to use them. Because I wasn't really a max difficulty type player. Because max difficulty Oblivion is tedious as shit and you can't convince me otherwise. I mean, it's literally a fact that it's tedious, right? Like max difficulty Skyrim and Oblivion. Although, yeah. I suppose max difficulty Skyrim is pretty... Oh shit, there's a fort. That's not good. It's kind of hit or miss as far as difficulty goes. This game has the right idea. I suppose they didn't even have, like, difficulty memes back then. Oh, I don't have the right amount of magicka. That's not good. Find something unusual. Bandits giving you dirty looks is a dead giveaway that you've crossed into a territory uninvited. Fortress is held strong and these men are itching for a fight. Alright. If you aren't prepared for a battle such as this, well, that's okay, because I'm a based Nightblade. Whoa, we got a Will-o'-the-Wisp. Longblade's gotta be ready. Yeah, the problem is getting hit here. Probably can't afford to use anything other than... Yeah, when they make that screaming noise, or when they make a more violent scream, that means they took a lot of damage. Cure wounds. I'll vanish. Now I think apparently these forts are supposed to like cause save bloat or something. If you don't kill the commander. I need a restore power potion. Enemy is surprised by our prowess. Yeah, so these encounters are very hard at low level. They can't be pacified. Oh, nice. The fort enemies cannot be pacified. The ones that spawn. If you spend too much time resting, they flee or they don't. I think these type of enemies can use poison, so I'm not really sure. You breathe clean, fresh air. Potion of Banishment. That would be good. Although that's based on your level, so... Apparently these places lead to save bloat if you don't kill the commander. The oncoming enemies prove too overwhelming. After an hour of fighting, you need to retreat and regroup your losses. Yeah, you cannot rest during the fight, which is extremely annoying. And makes it essentially... Ooh, I'm silenced. Damn. How long am I silenced for? Alright, we're gonna use a spear here. Yeah, these encounters are not meant for low-level players. Just gonna flee. Or no. Wait until I'm done. Unsilenced. They're just all hitting me with arrows, damn it. I'm about to die. This is the true power of the Nightblade. I think mages should have, like, sea invisibility. That makes sense. Somnalius. Yeah, raiding a fort during the day is not a good idea as a Nightblade. Especially since these enemies are probably always, like, on your level or ahead of you. So they'll have too much health, likely. Alright, get my short blade out. I think these are also rogue-type enemies. So they can poison. You're close to the point of death. Oh, shit. Yeah, I think I have it so you have to have like a minimum of 25% health. To, I think loitering actually means that you can't... slept very poorly. That always kind of gives me pause, or like, ooh, that's a little... I don't know what that means, but I think when it says you slept poorly, it just means that you didn't really get the benefits from resting. Honestly, when it says you are well rested, I don't know what that really means. That'd be kind of cool if it actually worked like future games where you get an XP bonus or something, but I don't think so. We gotta cannot travel when enemies are nearby. Enemies. Also, yeah, this is kind of cool because you have a choice on either healing yourself or turning invisible. But yeah, already at like level 4 or whatever, we're instantly killing enemies with the backstab. But yeah, we are using the ebony dagger, so... Which means, yeah, it's already going down on durability. I'm not sure if carrying illegal drugs is actually a crime. Yeah, I think if you encounter a fort on this character, definitely wait until nighttime so you have extra mana. But sometimes, you know, you can't always see them right away. Sometimes you just run into them. But yeah, in the old War Mashes, these fort raids would actually happen at dungeon exteriors. Now they just happen in the wilderness. Alteration, thaumaturgy, and then restoration. Yep. Shadowy form. Whoa. Oh, that's just a house. Okay. Yeah, I have also had it with Warm Ash. Oh, there's a thing. I have also had it with Warm Ashes where I leave Privateer's Hold and, like, instantly a Fire Daedra attacks me. That's kind of funny, but, you know, that's quite intense, right? Because a Fire Daedra is, like, super high level. Obviously, you know, on the Shadow Monk character, the Fire Daedra is, like, I mean, all mobs, even, like, Ancient Liches and Barbarians, are, like, fodder to the Shadow Monk because they've reached the peak, you know? But a Fire Daedra early on, that's gonna, like, instantly kill you with a Fireball. Yep. Take a look at my wares. Yeah, when you pass the follow check, they can instantly trade with you. Wait a minute. Are we going, we're going west. I think these must just, like, spawn, because I didn't even see that. Good. All right, we're all ready. You won't even know what hit. Okay. Nux vomica, it's a poison. I don't know how good these are, but yeah. I think it just hits him with like a standard poison spell. Or it you're just allowed to now use the poisons that enemies have access to with that mod. So what thing does that give? Does it give, like, regenerate health? I don't know. Worth 2,000, it might. You gotta be careful with those, because those are pretty damn good. Although I don't know how their durability works. Yeah, I'll put them into strength again. Level 5. I don't have food anymore. So yeah, traveling is harder when you don't have food. Which is okay, because you can usually find animals on the way. Looks like I'm invigorated anyways. Yep, Daggerfall is on the minimap now. So yeah, it literally took me a fucking hour to get to Daggerfall from where I was at the start of this. Whoa, 2 archaeologists guild, that's cool. What town is this? Oxbeth. This is a good place to go for archaeologist quests. I think most guilds have a quest that can just be completed in the town as well. Oh yeah, this is my... I don't think I'm a member. It's a good guild to join right away, actually. You should probably should. Oh, it's closed. Dang it. Oh yeah, look at these mountains. My stomach rumbles. Probably should have stopped at the tavern. We're really close to Daggerfall anyway. Ooh. You know it's really close when you hit the massive fucking lag. Oops. Oops. There we go. Because that doesn't really pick up that well on the save screen. Can sort through saves later. 10. Yeah. Problem is that saves are numbered in order across all characters. So on this Mila, this is what character was this? That was the demigod. Oh man, I'll have to probably tweak that build. There's plenty of overpowered character creation guides on YouTube. Marie is the middle monk. This is a pretty fun character to play, but I think it's a little bit too slow paced. Whereas, yeah, the Nightblade is going crazy fast. The Metal Monk is deliberately slow. And I think the speed will probably have to be capped at 50. But it's a magic user, so they can pretty easily breeze through the game. Liliana was the bard. This one was kind of hard. That rhymes. Act 1. I tried to redo the bard. This one, yeah, it was a little hard to do early because the skill selection was a little tough. I think maybe instead of destruction, you could do mysticism there. Well, no, that's super hard to level. Probably thaumaturgy. Alteration of thaumaturgy, at least like as far as leveling a little bit in the dungeon early on. But yeah, the idea with the bard, let's see. They have Forbidden Plate, Elven and Adamantium. Yeah, higher Magicka pool, but yeah, this is the character that had the goofy thing there. I think the way that works is it reduces it by only a third. So you'll get a pretty sizable Magicka pool all the time while still having that disadvantage. While still having the difficulty dagger be lowered. The idea with the bard is that they're pretty much exclusively using long blade and destruction. They're kind of a generalist where they have, you know, magical capabilities and combat capabilities, but they're not quite a spell sword because they focus on personality and thievery as well, whereas a spell sword is pretty much half and half. All that stuff. But yeah, this one was kind of rough because it's pretty hard to level destruction here. So I'll probably have to test this one out. It's honestly not that bad to be susceptible to disease and poison because that stuff, I mean, it's annoying when you're in a dungeon. So you should probably be prepared for going into a dungeon. But you don't have to take immunity to magic, but I would recommend that for new players just so that they don't have to worry about that stuff. Yeah, the idea is with the demigod taking all those critical weaknesses is that they would, like when facing like a fire danger or whatever, they would have the magicka to absorb that spell. They'd have the magicka to absorb that spell, so they wouldn't even take the damage from it. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I went with low willpower on the bard. And yeah, with the regen mod, you really need that willpower. Yeah, willpower is now like the most overpowered stat, so you can regen your magicka super quickly. Well, it's not overpowered. It requires investment over more powerful attributes like speed and strength, you know? So that's a cool trade-off, I think. But just being able to recover your magicka like instantly within an hour. I suppose you could kind of cheat and use restoration to increase your willpower. That's not cheating, but yeah, those strong fortify attributes. Man, Longblade is just great. I tried coming up with a cool name for the Bard character. I like to use alliteration, but it's not always possible. Ooh, yeah. Liliana. Which is kind of a high elf name, but not really. I feel like I've known people named Liliana. Liliana the Bard. So yeah, obviously on a Bard character, the Elder Scrolls Bard is not really like the D&D Bard, but with the Bard mod, with the Bard's Guild mod, you can actually be a Bard. And if you combine that with the Red Lantern, you can be like this weird courtesan character. That's also a spy, you know. So that's a great character concept. But yeah, with the enhancements from World of Daggerfall, the game is less centered around dungeons, I think. And you can kind of make a character that's not based around dungeon crawling. I suppose, yeah, that was also the intention with the Shadow Monk character, is that it's a very good character for dungeon crawling. So yeah, you only go into a dungeon if you have to for a quest, I would say. And you just get in and get out. That's probably the best way to approach dungeons, is to just go to the objective and teleport out. Because otherwise you're just spending too much time running around. And with the right setup, you can just level up by running around with travel options. That would be a fun character to play on YouTube, would be the Bard. Or you join the Bard's Guild and the Red Lantern Guild, and you play those mods. But, you know, I've never really been super into the Bard archetype, really. I think it's fun in D&D where you can imagine what you're doing and you can, you know, be strumming along as you're walking around, you know, and that's the idea. But in the Elder Scrolls, to me, that doesn't really work, because a Bard is a support class, you know? And if you don't have any, like, allies with you, you don't have, like, an exciting, wacky party of characters with you, then the Bard, it just doesn't feel right when you're traveling alone as a Bard. And then, of course, there's language skills overhaul, but in order to really get the benefits out of that and feel like a support character, you have to be, like, super fucking juiced up with high restoration. You know, you have to have very high magic skills to get really a benefit and be able to support your allies. You know? Anyway. Yeah, I think a lot of my classes are going to end up having, especially the magic users, are probably just going to end up having the healer backstory, because restoration is a great primary skill. I even got the healer backstory on the Nightblade, which is weird. It's not a bad backstory to have. I think, yeah, I'd probably... On the Bard, I'd go for lower endurance. Probably lower agility, even though, like... Yeah, it makes sense for Bards to be agile. But agile just affects your hit chance. Let me look up agility on Sphincter Vision attacks. Agility. Oh, cool. Bows, long blades, and short blades gain accuracy and damage from agility up to +10 to hit and +5 to max damage. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So yeah, agility is made more useful by the bots. Agility's effect is doubled. So yeah, instead of it being every 10 points of agility you get +1 to combat odds, it's every 5. So yeah, agility is a bigger deal. Probably not like 40 agility, but yeah, I do need extra points to invest into willpower. I think, yeah, instead of having it be strength, we'll have the bard... Oh, hold on. I'm gonna have to revise the... Oh, God. I've had that happen a couple of times where instead of exiting, it just crashes. Don't know why. So I wish I knew how to, like, make this, you know? But yeah, that does, I believe, affect the NPCs as well. The NPC classes. Which is a little weird, but what are you gonna do? Let's do the bard. I have my classes on my spreadsheet. Race neutral. So you can pick whatever race you want. And then, yeah, I don't have any reputation bonuses or background question answers because, although, yeah, classes like the Nightblade should definitely pick the Ebony Dagger. Or, like, if you're playing a Metal Monk or a Knight, you should probably get the armor. Although I don't know if that's allowed. Anyway. Speaking of knight, let's actually make a knight. So I think the difference between a knight and a warrior in the Elder Scrolls, I think they actually changed a knight in Oblivion. Oblivion knight. Wait, whoops. Knight class. Skills? Illusion is in there? I suppose for charming. Ding 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 ding. So yeah, the knight in Oblivion has illusion. Maybe they changed that in Morrowind. Let me see. Oh, okay, they have like this weird table on the UASP wiki. I don't know if I like this, but combat. Okay, here we go. Knight. Do you have any magic? So they have enchanting as a minor and restoration. Okay, so they're kind of like the Elder Scrolls version of a paladin. They favor personality and strength. Well, that makes sense. So yeah, they have mercantile. Okay. I suppose, yeah, speechcraft and mercantile are the two talky skills. Mercantile is overpowered in Morrowind. It's so silly and stupid. Because once you hit like 20 mercantile, you can already start scamming and swindling merchants to make infinite money. It's the most cheesy, broken skill ever in the Elder Scrolls, in my opinion. It's even theoretically, it's more broken than alchemy, Because, yeah, using Fortify Intelligence potions to then make better Fortify Intelligence potions is an inherent feature of alchemy. But you don't, like, have to make those potions, you know? But in Mercantile, I mean, it's like, once you hit, like, barely any skill in Mercantile, you can already scam merchants. It's just crazy. I could demonstrate that in OpenMW. Morrowind is probably one of the best games to Let's Play on your channel because you can, it has almost no voice acting, so you can do all that yourself. And I have a pretty good Dunmer impression, I think, but I'm not really feeling like Morrowind right now. I've been kind of poisoned by Daggerfall. I kind of like the old Elder Scrolls more. Morrowind is a great game if you want, like, oh, here is the best Elder Scrolls game, you know? And it's good if you want that kind of flavor, where it's like weird and alien and you're playing a dark elf. But yeah, to me, like, modded Daggerfall Unity is just like the best. OpenMW is great because you can pretty much like plug and play that, and I don't think you really need any mods. Pretty similar with Oblivion, although yeah, some mods are kind of necessary for me to play Oblivion, like unleveling mods and mods that don't make it so bandits don't have fucking glass armor, you know? There are some, like, really stupid hardcore Oblivion fans that actually defend that design choice, you know? It's like, no. I don't like the leveled NPCs or creatures in Oblivion. Leveled equipment or leveled loot was a problem in Daggerfall, because, like, every enemy would have a chance to drop Daedric gear. They wouldn't actually be wearing it or using it, but you would be able to just instantly get lots of Daedric gear and become like a bajillionaire, because that's how much you got from selling that stuff. So yeah, Daggerfall absolutely had balancing issues, but it wasn't like extremely annoying balancing issues. Like, it wasn't bad balancing issues where it would actually hurt the player, you know, like it is in Oblivion. Like in the original Oblivion, if you didn't like get 555 every level, you'd be behind your enemies, you know? Whatever. Oblivion is notoriously, like, badly balanced, and everyone knows that. We don't have to talk about that. Skyrim has balancing issues, too, where, like, if you're level 80 or whatever, and you try to fight that Draugr boss at the end of the dungeon, he has like 5 billion health on legendary difficulty, and like you hit him once with your fucking ebony greatsword or whatever, and like a sliver of his health goes down, and it's like, yeah, this is not good, you know? I hate that shit. Monsters, yeah, I think that's a great idea, is that, like, monsters should mostly be easy to kill, except for, like, a couple of rare enemy types and, like, boss enemies at the end, you know? And then boss enemies at the end shouldn't have, like, a bajillion health, but they should have, like, powerful abilities, and, you know, they should be smarter. I think that would be cool to have in the Elder Scrolls. Oh, they have this here. Never mind. Knight. Crusader. A heavily armored warrior with spellcasting powers. Okay, so that's just a paladin. And a good cause may call himself a crusader. Well, they have cool little logos here. Are these from the manual? Your class doesn't really matter in Morrowind. Like, yeah, that's the thing about the difference between Daggerfall and Morrowind is that there aren't any restrictions like there are in Daggerfall, where if you took like sorcerer or whatever, you just couldn't wear armor, you know? Whereas with the way that the skills work in Morrowind, yeah, you can, I mean, it's a thing in Oblivion and Skyrim, your character class does not matter because you can just level up your skills, you know? Obviously, like, oh, if you pick a monk and then try to like use a sword at the beginning, you're gonna suck. Right, you're gonna miss almost all the time. But you can eventually get better at everything, and you can become an expert at everything in Morrowind. So the juice is taken away a little bit as far as how important the classes actually are. That's why I select my own, you know, skills, and I like picking athletics and acrobatics as major skills, so I can actually run and jump at the beginning, you know. Even though that's like, oh, it's not the optimal choice. Well, it doesn't matter because you can just get 100 and everything anyway, you know. They severely nerfed enchanting as well. Enchanting was actually like super broken in Daggerfall. Enchanting is still very powerful in Morrowind, but it's not as good. Enchanting was probably at its most broken as a baseline in Daggerfall, because you can just put in like health leech when used and soulbound ancient lich and get like 5,000 fucking points or whatever on one item, and you can just put in like whatever you want on the item and get overpowered. But yeah, in I suppose it was technically at its most broken in Skyrim, where using exploits or whatever, or using like a loop to increase your enchanting, you could get like unlimited stamina or whatever, you know. You could get really super high enchanting, and I'm okay with that, you know. I did that all the time in Skyrim, but as a baseline it was at its most broken in Daggerfall, because you could just make instantly when you get to enchanting, it's like you've reached the end game, you know. Okay. Anyways, I was saying that the disadvantages and advantages in Daggerfall add so much weight to the class system, especially the custom class system. Because, yeah, the classes don't matter as much in Morrowind as they did in Daggerfall. Because a monk can use heavy armor as much as a knight. You know, sure, I don't know actually how the armor shit worked in that. Did it actually provide more armor rating? I don't know. Obviously, the knight or whatever uses it better, but I think I'm going to go with the traditional Daggerfall idea of a knight, which is they cannot use magic. Or maybe they just have limited magic ability, I don't know. But I don't know about that one. So if we're going for a knight, we're obviously going to pick Breton. We're going to have... what's the good primary? I think just to get more mileage out of dodging, we can probably have Forbidden Armor, Chain and Plate. Or Chain and Leather. Definitely focus on Strength, less on Intelligence, less on Willpower. This is your attribute minimum. So I think it's safe to take like 10 points from a lot of these, just in case. Not super fast, but speed is a super important attribute for combat. Personality would also be a focus too. suppose etiquette would be a good number one. Because, yeah, you don't really need number one on weapon skills. The difference between a knight and a warrior is a knight is, I would say, more specialized, less HP per level. So probably like 20 or 25. Has fewer weapon skills. Probably have running, jumping, and climbing. Critical strike is probably going to be a primary. Yeah, backstabbing would be... I don't think that would be a skill. Yeah, but knight would want to fight people honorably. So you have mercantile. Streetwise. I suppose swimming, actually. Swimming. Streetwise and mercantile. Yeah, medical would also be a necessary one here. Medical. We're gonna go etiquette. Long blade. Critical strike. The only problem with etiquette is that you're not really going to be able to train it right away in the first dungeon. But it's a nice, easy one to train anyway, so... etiquette, long blade, and critical strike. And I suppose they would be trained in hand-to-hand combat. But no, they wouldn't... I don't know. I mean, this is kind of like a bard, but without magic. Yeah. Bard, different armor. Etiquette. What else do we have then? Dodging. Oh yeah, knight would be focused on tanking the damage. Dodging. Could be blunt weapon or archery. Or Daedric. Yeah, Daedric would be a good choice for like a Dark Knight or whatever. Dark Knight. Yeah, Daedric's a pretty good skill. Being able to pacify Daedra. Maybe a knight wouldn't be able to use magic right away. It's a tough one. What we got here? Archery. Either that or stealth. I suppose axe. Axe or blunt weapon too. But like, there's not really a reason to pick that alongside a long blade unless you're going for a warrior, you know? A knight would absolutely be, you know, versed in blade and blunt, you know, being able to use like axes and pull arms. But hey, long blades, that includes spear with the Tone of Battle mod. What other enemies are included in Dragonish? There are definitely still lesser skills like Impish. I think there are more enemies that are added by like Daggerfall enemy expansion and stuff that apply to Harpy and Impish and Giantess and Dragonish. But Dragonish might still be the worst because, I mean, the only enemies that I can think of are the Dragonlings that would use that. And Dragonlings are, for the most part, pretty weak creatures. Yeah, the knight would just have to break down locks. I don't really know what to put here besides another. I suppose maybe swap out running with another miner, like I think backstabbing is good to have, just to have it higher at the beginning, so you can get some extra damage in combat. Knights would definitely use short blades when the enemies are down. Might be a good idea to put the speed here and then an extra strength here. We'll go with hand to hand, maybe. Yeah. As a supplement. Advantages, definitely athleticism. Bonus to hit, maybe? Bonus to hit humanoid. Well, hold on. 20 hit points per level. We can go critical weakness to shock, because that's can be wearing plate armor all the time. Can't wear leather, although yeah, it would make sense for a knight to be able to use all varieties of armor, but for the sake of it, we'll go that. Actually, yeah, for now we'll do no magic, so unable to use magic. Maybe ooh. Could have that. Very limited magicka pool. Dee, 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 dee. Yeah, there the Daggerfall idea of a knight is not like a paladin kind of deal. Yeah, we can have that be a separate class. This will be like a more specialized fighter that also has... That's different from a warrior and barbarian in that they're focused also on personality and pacifying people. It's like a hybrid. It's a combat character that uses speech skills. Whereas the warrior is exclusively focused on martial combat. The barbarian cannot use armor. I need some water, man. We can maybe have that and have like a slight little magical ability. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about that. Yeah, being a no-mage character really like opens you up for more spell points or hit points. I think we can have the knight have either... Well, no, that's a lot, man. That's a lot of health per level. I think 20 is good. And then the warrior would have 25 and the barbarian would have 30. I like increments of 5. Most stealthy thief characters would have 10, especially the Nightblade, because that character is rewarded for being stealthy. That's the whole point of the class. Is you're supposed to play in that way, and you can't just really engage with enemies in head-on combat. I would have to do some probably more testing with that because, or maybe the audience can. But being able not as able to kill enemies like skeletons. I think they can rely on, dodging and all that to fight those guys, but I don't know. Fighting Daedra, pretty dangerous. So Knight would obviously be in favor of nobility, hated by the underworld, loved by peasants, right? Or no? I guess knights are, in real life, they're like, guards of nobility, so the peasants would probably hate them. I think we can probably leave it at that. Merchants would definitely love the knight. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. That makes the most sense. They're not like by underworld, but like by nobility. Other ones are kind of neutral. Because, yeah, knights will probably... An Elder Scrolls knight would probably save peasants, but they would also defend the property of the lord. So they're kind of neutral. Scholars are neutral for the same reason, basically. I think, yeah, on paper, merchants would love knights, and then you'd probably reduce it from peasants, but yeah, we'll leave it at neutral. Definitely bonus to hit humanoid. Adrenaline Rush is like okay. I think that just gives you like enhanced... Adrenaline Rush now triggers at 25% health. You gain bonuses to some combat related attributes. Well, what the hell does that mean? Does that like increase your strength when you're low health? I mean, it makes sense for a warrior type character. I guess that's kind of perfect right there. You definitely want expertise in Longblade. Expertise in hand-to-hand. That's pretty perfect, actually. Wow. I think, yeah, a knight having a bonus to hit on Undead and Daedra as well makes sense. But that's really pumping the thing up there. So you can probably Forbidden Material Daedric. That's a thing on the original knight. We're going to be focused on plate armor. Forbidden Material. You obviously don't want to forbid steel. They frown upon the foul Daedric equipment. Yeah, this knight is going to be really specialized and be able to hit and deal lots of damage to enemies. Whereas a warrior would probably get bonus to hit. Yeah. And then a barbarian, I think a good idea for a barbarian as well is having animal taming as one of the skills. Just as a role-playing thing, because that is kind of a meme skill, I guess, but you gotta have a trade-off for having that 30 fucking hit points per level. Yeah, the barbarian primary skill would probably be dodging. Although, we'll have to think about that. Maybe critical. The first primary skill is going to be the one that gets to 100. And is the most thematic as well for your class. Well, it is, like, on the barbarian, it's probably the most, like, gameplay. It's probably the most, efficient. I don't know. The most optimal choice to choose dodging, especially if you're restricted on terms of armor. What else have we got? We should probably have rapid healing. Bonus to hit Daedra. Yeah, we can do that. Regenerate health in darkness. Then what else? Critical weakness to shock. Alright, yeah, we can bump it up a little bit. Ooh. Perfect. That's really good. That's awesome. You can maybe do critical weakness to disease, because that's probably less dangerous, to be honest. Well, not on this character, because you can't just... Well, no. Okay. So this is a good selection here. Athleticism for running around. Long blade and hand-to-hand for weapons. Bonus to hit Daedra and humanoid. Rapid healing and regenerate health to recover. Frowns upon Daedric items, so you cannot use the most powerful items in the game. But honestly, when I hit on my Shadow Monk character, I never really used Daedric just because I thought it looked ugly. Because it's like this awkward bright red. But I suppose it does look better. At least the armor looks better on a female character. But yeah, you're going to be using Ebony or Orcish probably. Orcish is really rare. So... I guess, yeah, the best armor for a knight is probably adamantium, because it's the highest tier while still being kind of silvery. Well, at least on the female character. Yeah, this is really good. I like that. The critical weakness to shock is there because metal is electrically conductive, just like on the metal monk. Perfect. That's perfectly balanced, as all things should be. So yeah, this is a non-magical knight. A magical knight would be a crusader. Sorry. Or I suppose you could call it paladin. I'm going to write this one down. Although, yeah, I would say that there's not really another... Yeah, the knight wouldn't actually have Daedric as a skill because they would be like a Daedra hunter. You know, they would want to kill them. Okay. So what kind of thing do we get here? I'll write this one down. Yeah. So I do have a couple of legend things here for as shorthand for various advantages. Just so that I don't have to type each one out every time. So Dark Heal. It is called Dark Heal. I don't know what else to name it besides, like, I don't know, rest heal or something. Dark heal is just the best name for it, although it's not for like exclusively dark characters, but the idea is that you just heal better when you're in cozier conditions, so you can heal most of the time, you know, or heal when you're kind of supposed to be healing. And then yeah, better heal is when it's in general. No armor and no mage is a pretty obvious one. But yeah, that's just for shorthand. I could have this one be public as well, but this one doesn't have a lot of stuff in it yet. I might have to copy this one over. Wait a minute. Let me... Yeah, I guess this is fine for full screen. I try and write new descriptions for the classes as well. Knights are highly trained and specialized fighters that also use the power of personality to charm foes and gain followers. They are adept and athletic while traveling in plate armor, but take extra damage from shock spells due to the conductivity of metal. They are expert fighters in hand-to-hand combat, but prefer using the honorable swords and spears, especially on horseback. So yeah, that would be a cool thing for a knight build, is being on horseback and hitting people with a spear. I did reduce the range of the spear though. That should probably increase that, but anyway. It's very fun to use to have an actual viable jousting build. Let's see. Knights abhor the infernal daedra that do not belong in our plane. They seek to destroy any foul creature that comes in their way, and do not hesitate to swiftly kill any hostile humanoids when diplomacy fails. I don't know foul creature, because yeah, that applies to undead, right? No. Humanoids, actually, I believe humanoids counts things like harpies and centaurs as well, although I'm not really sure about that one. Don't quote me. But yeah, this is like a perfect character for fighting in general, but especially Daedra and humanoids. This would be, yeah, pretty good for dungeon crawling and exploration. But yeah, no magic, that's a little bit intense. Whew. Yeah, the recommended race for this is definitely Breton, because that natural resistance to magic, you can't really go wrong with that. That probably would be just the best generic choice for a character that doesn't have any sort of magic resistance naturally. But it's kind of fun to play like a high elf bard instead. I like high elf for a bard because, I don't know, I just feel like elves should probably just have objectively more beautiful voices and be prettier than humans, you know? They're elves still, so there's, you know, they're not humans, but you know, they should be better bards than humans, I think. Humans will come up with better stories, of course, but elves will just be better singers. Then yeah, acrobat, obviously Khajiit makes the most sense because they get plus 30 to climbing checks. But honestly, climbing is not really that hard, even with low skill, so you don't really need that. Best choice for acrobat is probably going to be Nord, just so that you don't like get fucked as soon as the, you know, at the beginning of the game with winter, you know. Any race works with the acrobat, but probably Nord, or like, yeah, Nord, because you're more resistant to the winter. Or yeah, normally, otherwise probably, well, you have a magic immunity, so you don't really need to pick Breton. Or you probably shouldn't pick Breton, because then you're just getting a useless racial bonus. Yeah, this version of the acrobat should be much more playable. I suppose, yeah, this is basically that arcane thief character, but without magic. I suppose, yeah, a thief should be able to wear light armor. I really like this character. I'm going to call that the Knight. Let's go through the backstory meme. I like this character setup. Oh, I forgot about they frown upon Daedra. And do not use that equipment. The equipment forged from their souls. Because I think that's actually how Daedric items work. Shit. Formatting. Perfect. Knight. Your favorite weapon type. Oh, here we go. I wonder if we actually got the Knight backstory. My favorite weapon type is... I don't want to pick Longblade. Because, yeah, picking stuff like that does make your max level lower. It tends to, anyway. Because I've picked Longblade as a primary, I want to be able to level up my Longblade. It is a good bonus, but... Favorite weapon type? Oh, we got Monk? No way. Ooh. I might pick blunt weapons. Blunt weapons or archery. Because you get longbow and some arrows. Yeah, this gives plus 12 to that weapon skill, so yeah. That's almost a full level. I'm going to pick blunt weapons because you get a big warhammer. What motivates you in a life of adventure? We're going to go with fame because we're a knight. Which of the following skills have you been studying the longest? Ooh, here we go. Is this for monk? Did I actually get the monk backstory? That's pretty cool. I'll say... the hardest one, I'll probably either pick lockpicking. That's kind of a bad choice for role-playing reasons, but... backstabbing, sure. As a child, your nickname was... Uh-oh. This is not good, because I think all of these are selected skills. So just go with the ones that reduce... Have the... let's see... Scrapper. Ooh, that's plus... yeah, we have all these selected. Nickname was Guppy. That's a good choice. Or Rabbit. Because that increases jumping. Either way, it's running. I'll go with Quicksilver. Oh, fuck. Whoops. Rabbit. I guess we're going Rabbit. You were loaned and later allowed to keep... ooh. A Daikatana. What god, if any, do you worship? It's Mercy would probably be the one that makes the most sense. God of Chivalry. There's not really a god of chivalry. I think Zenithar is also the god of hard work or something. It's either Zenithar or Stendar. Probably Stendar. You have the most trouble avoiding diseases. Since childhood, you have saved... Well, none of these are really that great. We'll pick a Pearl, I guess. You are friendlier than most with the barbarous orcs. I always like picking that one. You decide to... Oh, jeez. I'll say Ebony Dagger, because that's the only real option there. You spend any free time you have training with... blunt weapons, I suppose. Wait. Oh, spell swords get gear. Cool. Yeah, I think blunt weapon is a good choice. You're intimate friends with a very generous... Yeah, this is actually from the background mod. Background question history fixes mod. I'll just say knight. That's a good choice. Alright. What's the coolest knight look? What's that? I like that. Alright. I do like to even things out. Very cool. Put it into agility. Ah! Good, good. That's more even. Alright. I think I might put etiquette at the top there. Yeah, that's good. That's kind of a low thing there. Yeah, we'll do that. Put 5 points into that just so it'll be ahead. Although, yeah, that's going to level up pretty quickly. So we'll put all points into etiquette. Okay. We'll do that. Jumping's at the top, so we're going to have running. And then, well, mercantile's super easy. Swimming. Carol. Carol. Excuse the gloom. I like the name Crystal as well, but that's kind of like, meh. That's kind of a trashy name, you know? Well, no offense. Crystal the Knight. Wait, Crystal Knight? Isn't that like Crystal Nacht? That's the Knight of Broken Glass. That's fucked up. I guess that's actual knight. You know, N-I-G-H-T. Alright, we got plenty of weapons here. I'll use this Warhammer. Yeah, Warhammer is just objectively the coolest type of weapon, so we're gonna go with that. Yeah, I do wish you could disable the crossbow there, or crosshairs there, but that's from... I guess that's a little bit weird. Does she have heterochromia? It's a little bit of a weird aspect of this face, is that she's looking that way, rather than head on. This kind of looked the most knightly, so we're gonna go... Ooh, we got something like this. Okay. You can do that. Mortar and pestle. Oh yeah, we selected medicine as one of our skills. Cool. The tale begins. Is that how you spell that? Yeah. I picked Warhammer because you can jib rats with a Warhammer. Hello, creature. I guess you can. I think it's like a chance-based thing. Okay. Excellent. We got some steel. Oh, we got a spear. That's lucky as hell. We can probably get rid of that flail. Oops. Yeah. We do want the teeth. Oh fuck. Let's go with that. Oh fuck. Alright. Excellent. Makes you shiver. Find a fire or make camp. So, what if I just like rest here? Enemies nearby, I can't. Oh, etiquette. Yeah. Okay, we didn't quite level up, which is unfortunate, but... Yeah, the knight isn't going to have problems killing if they failed to pacify. Got a cool tower shield. Yep, knights would be using shields as well. Mortar and pestle. So they hit steel on the ground then? I'll actually use this. Oh, there we go. Refresh. Ooh, bamboo and rainwater. We can actually make that? Dang. Mend. Root bulb and elixir vitae. Oh, I think you start off with that. Yeah, I suppose knights would be using herbal remedies, I guess. You could make a whole build around that, I suppose, but I think that'd just be woo, you know? Let's go with, I think speed is really good. We can probably... yeah, put him into strength. She does need a, yeah, you can only use shields for this. That provides a lot of defense, though. Yeah, light flail and tower shield, that works. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Rit. We can access backstabbing. I don't know if... I think backstabbing does level up if you fail. Oh, it has to be a successful... oh, okay, yeah. Long blade is ready. Don't forget to level up hand to hand. Shit. I think medical did level up. Anything for sale? Water walking, that's really good actually. Follow me. Excellent. We got it going. Silver longbow. That's really good. Have anything for sale? Take a look at my wares. Sell her the dagger. No, we'll keep that actually. There's 15 gold. Okay. Do you have bandages? Those, like, give a minor amount of health. I don't know. That's probably based around medical as well. Ooh-doo-doo. Take that. It's a pretty good recipe, so I can take that. Hold on. It's 100 gold, though. It's pretty wild. By 84. Mercantile's ready. Yeah, we don't have, enemy infighting, so we cannot deal with that right now. Excellent. Anything for sale, buddy? Follow me? Oh, yeah. Let's go. Oh, it's like a tiny little guy. Wait a minute. Oh, never mind. Alright, we'll part ways with them. Take aim. What does that do? Jumping, climbing, swimming. Night. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, 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 yep. I guess I can sell her this. Let's take the torch. Take a look at my wares. Mercantile levels up pretty quick. Hello, good sir. Archline is 3 gold. Dang it. Yeah, I could probably buy something from him. I'll take your arrows. Yeah, I think Barbarian would be pretty fun as well. Yeah, the idea of a no magic character is that you use your disadvantage points on extra health, but yeah, the Acrobat doesn't have armor and doesn't have magic and has low health per level, but also gets magic immunity, so they're immune to disease, poison, paralysis. They cannot be stopped unless you kill them. Don't have axe yet, do I? Bolt weapons ready. Kind of sucks that you can't use a spear and shield, but that's fair, I suppose. It's technically a dual-handed. There should be weapons like that are versatile, because that is in D&D, right? Or in Baldur's Gate 3. You can have versatile weapons that are both, which is really cool. I really wish that camping supplies at the beginning didn't suck. Or at least had more than one, you know? This would be a good time to use it, though. Yeah. I do wish that this was compatible with Uncanny UI. I think medical just straight up translates to hours rested is the XP, which, I mean, that's kind of normal on a character that doesn't have rapid healing, I guess, but yeah, it's a pretty painful, annoying skill to level up. We'll leave it there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow falling. Oh yeah, baby. Perfect timing. perfect. Yeah, don't steal while talking to them. Only has 6 gold. Dang it. I'll buy your short bow then. Do you need more dodging? Critical strike. I've done this dungeon like 500 times. I don't even know how many. Oh my god. Hello. Oh, hey. Anything for sale? Follow me? Dang it. Alright. Let's get him with critical strike. Very good. Yeah, only use the bandages in emergencies. Ooh. Okay, some of these menus do work with that thing, but I guess we can't cook there. Maybe it has to be an actual campfire? I don't know. Oh, whoops. Can I buy that from him again? Whatever. Where, bruh? Okay. I think these eventually wear off then. Sorry. Oh yeah. I think more into speed would be fair. Take a look at my wares. Only has 11 gold. It's worth 0 gold. Yeah, weapons are kind of too expensive for those enemies to buy. They have a limited amount of gold. Yeah, each transaction gives mercantile XP. Like in Oblivion, or in the original Oblivion. Long blade. Excellent. Oh wait, no, that's actually better. Yeah, there we go. I jibbed an enemy. It says it's worth 0 gold, but you might be able to get 1. Oh. Okay, weird. Maybe you can only cook at your actual campfire. Here we go. I guess maybe you can only jib bats. Got that. Now hand to hand. Got the best. Okay, yeah, never mind. I was thinking, yeah, a good nickname would be Scrapper, but no, we have hand to hand as a whatchamacallit. Major. Round shield, excellent. We have too much meat. I need my critical. These do get a little bit... Henceforth. And he has 3 gold. Are they just, like, required to give you 1 gold each time, then? I suppose you can still pack the camping supplies and then sell them, but you won't be able to use them again. I suppose I don't actually have a helmet. My children are starving. Yeah, I don't really need that longbow. It's kind of expensive, though. I need torches to sell them. I suppose you could take these, yeah. Let me just sell you some torches. Even though we're in a dungeon. That is a little bit cheesy, but it's something you can do with... So yeah, their cost is already going up, so it's worth 10 gold, but I'm getting 24 gold already. So yeah, Mercantile was broken in Daggerfall as well. Armor is kind of hard to sell because I think you pretty much have to go to armorer to sell it. And those aren't as common as general stores. Should probably always take oil from lanterns. Shouldn't forget about those oops. Chests. Lockpicking, but yeah, the knight isn't gonna focus on lockpicking. There's only one bat there. I think hard mode is supposed to... Hard mode on Horrible Hordes is supposed to always spawn the max amount of creatures, but I don't think it always does. For whatever reason. I have plenty of meat. I think I can just use that to sell to that archer guy. Very good. The air is stagnant. Uh-oh. Contracted brain fever. Personality and willpower will trickle away. Yeah, getting a disease is a lot easier with Horrible Hordes. Oh god, we gotta... Yeah, Mercantile is kind of hard one to level because you're not always buying and selling. Well, it's easy to level up as far as, like, the speed of it goes, but... Triple kill. Resist fire. Yeah. Speed. Yeah, maybe when there is a camp in the dungeon, you can't use these to cook, which is odd. Excellent. Right, we gotta leave and then grab a loan. Rename it to Journey. This area looks inhabited. Gothway. It's okay if we're diseased. There's a war. Northgaria is attacking. I don't know if they're hostile to you or not. Look at that, man. That's fucked. That's how it is, though. If you got... That's pretty lucky, kind of. That's kind of lucky, quote-unquote. That makes... Yeah, traveling in Daggerfall is going to be much harder at the beginning if there's a war going on, but that's cool. That means the power struggle mod's working. Courier steps up to you with a letter in hand. I was told to give this letter to someone fitting your description, says the courier. As you take it, the courier turns and walks quickly away. Ew. Dang. Where's the bank? Thank you. There's the first-class supply store. Thank you, sir. I suppose, yeah, you can level up. Letter for you, Carol. And your note. Suppose I can level up etiquette by using politeness to talk to people. So how's everything going? Don't spread this around, but Officious and Binders. Yeah, talking to people while polite. Where am I? Gothway Garden. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can just easily level up that stuff. Yep, there's a war going on. That is not good, bro. I'm not going to participate. I could level up my critical, maybe. I don't want to get anywhere near that beehive. Yep. Beehive of enemies. They're going after me. Yeah, I think whenever you use city fast travel, that also resets things. I'd like to apply for a loan. 236. To borrow a loan, 16,000. And then withdraw a letter of credit for 16,000. Or no, I'll withdraw 23 gold pieces. Or 36 gold pieces. And then withdraw a letter of credit for 16,000. Thank you, sir. I would say that amount of gold is much more reasonable. For the beginning. Right. Oh, fuck. God damn it. Press the wrong button. That happens. Attempt to bribe the guard? No. Surrender? No. Damn it. Ah, whatever. Okay. I'm gonna end the video here. That's the knight character. What other characters do I want to do? I'll probably actually start a playthrough eventually, but I kind of have a lot of fun testing different characters and figuring out different ways to play the game. Although, yeah, that one, in order to really test it, you have to do what I did with the Nightblade, where you actually try and traverse the world, and that's the real test of the character. I would imagine it would be harder as you move along in the world, because you actually do have to camp more often, and you might have to disable war mashes. Because, yeah, honestly, there's enough encounters with World of Daggerfall. But anyway. Safe travels.